These types of resolutions and meetings are always a pleasure, these additions to our meetings. Resolution 2018 S34.
Madam Mayor and Council, I offer Resolution 2018-S-34 for adoption.
Second.
Mayor and Council, this resolution is to appoint three police officers to the rank of sergeant. They're all longstanding Stone Harbor police officers. That would be David Hartzell, Matthew Sikora, and Joseph Bartolone.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Would David Hartzell IV come up and be sworn in? One unhappy camper.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will faithfully, impartially, and justly. Perform all the duties of the office of police sergeant. According to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Matthew John Sikora.
I state your name.
I, Matthew Sikora,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully, impartially, and justly.
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
Perform all the duties of the office of patrol sergeant.
perform all the duties of officer of patrol sergeant
According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Joseph Bartolone III.
I state your name.
I, Joseph Bartolone III,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully, impartially, and justly.
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
Perform all the duties of the office of police sergeant.
perform all the duties of the office of police sergeant
According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Mr. President, thank you.
Give him time to. Bye-bye. He's so cute, isn't he? Oh, it's just us two.
Do we have any communications?
I believe we do we?
We do.
Yes. To Jill and the Public Works, the Stone Harbor seniors would like to thank you for clearing the snow around the American Legion Post. You made it safe for all our members to attend our pizza party this Wednesday. Sincerely, Lois Schweckart, President.
Very nice. Have a motion to receive the communication as read and enter it into the record.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? May I have a motion concerning the minutes?
Madam Mayor, since all members of council have been provided with a copy of the minutes of the work session and the meeting of December 19th, 2017, and the organization meeting of January 2nd, 2018, if there are no additions or corrections, I move we dispense with the reading of the minutes and that they be approved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll now have public comment. Anyone wishing to address mayor and council may do so at this time by coming forward to the microphone and stating your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, I will close public comment. Ordinance 1512.
Madam Mayor, I ask that ordinance 1512 be taken up on first reading.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Will the clerk read the title only of ordinance 1512 on first reading?
An ordinance amending Chapter 230, the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Stone Harbor, adding a fee.
This is a fee that is required by the state of the construction office, so we are adding it to their list of fees. So I move that ordinance 1511 be passed on first reading, published according to law, that it be taken up on second, third, and final reading and adoption at a meeting of mayor and council to be held on the 20th day of February 2018.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
That was ordinance 1512, correct?
Yes.
All right.
It's a misprint on my part.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S35.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018 S35 for adoption.
Second.
This is for performance and maintenance surety for street openings where the zoning officer has requested improve the return of the fees. There are 8 of them in number.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes?
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S36.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018-36 for adoption.
Second.
This resolution pertains to summer leaks and refunds associated with 2 separate metered accounts, one located at 329 89th Street, the other at 11810 2nd Avenue.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S37.
Madam Mayor and Council, I offer Resolution 2018-S-37 for adoption.
Second.
This resolution formalizes the agreement with the fire department and the EMS for 2018 regarding the stipend usage.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S38.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018 S38 for adoption.
Second.
This is to authorize the execution of an application for Cape Atlantic Soil Conservation District for soil erosion and sediment control for the 93rd Street wastewater, and it's in the amount of $555.
Any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S39.
I'd like to offer Resolution 2018-S-39 for adoption.
Second.
This is our yearly agreement with the Wetlands Institute for professional services.
Any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S40.
I'd like to offer 2018-S-40 for adoption.
Second.
This is the agreement for our watershed management plan that Stockton College will be doing for us.
Any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
I need a motion to participate in the Cape May County Travel Show Cooperative.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Do I need to call a vote? I'm good, right?
Before I vote, may I make a statement? I have no problem with this travel show. I think it's a wonderful thing. However, as a steward of the taxpayers' money, and after having read a statement just yesterday between SHPOA and the mayor, I see that we are looking, because of $5,000, to possibly remove elements of the Stockton project which address our flood mitigation, which is the biggest issue that faces Stone Harbor right now. If that is indeed the case, $5,000 is a lot of money. So I just want to say that. I'd like to clarify that. I'd like to say this is not an anti-county tourism vote. I'm totally in support of tourism, and I'm totally in support of the chamber, but I'm getting mixed messages right now, and that's what it's about.
Any more discussion?
Well, I think the issue that Mansour is referring to is still under discussion. I mean, I don't think any decision was made that yes, we're going to do this, or no, we're not going to do this. I think the subcommittee just was exploring the possibility if that was an avenue we could go down.
However, the very last line of the correspondence says, depending on your answer, we will decide what, if any, elements of the Stockton project could be removed. And the bottom line there is $5,000.
That's true. I mean, I think the overall cost of that, if my memory serves me right, was $14,000, and we were looking at what, if any, of this do we need and what don't we need. And part of it was, I think the consensus is that we need most of it. I'm not sure we need all of it. So the thought came out that, well, maybe SHPOA would be willing to foot more of the bill, and we could kick in the 50% and go that way. So it was just an exploratory
I understand.
phone call is all it was.
What I'm saying is that right now, as I read that email, $5,000 is a lot of money. A half hour ago, $5,000 was a pittance compared to what we were going to get back.
Rather than take just one sentence, just because not everybody on council saw that email. So if you would just read the email in its entirety, I think it would help those who only hear the one line.
The total cost of the Stockton project is $21,599. We are working with our engineers to see if there is any redundancy in the project that could bring that cost down. The additional $5,000 would have SHPOA and the borough sharing the cost. We also have a proposal from the Wetlands Institute to assist our flood committee as we plan for the future, which is an additional $5,000. As you can appreciate, the cost of this is climbing. We simply asked Jill to reach out and see if SHPOA would consider making this project for 2 years running, as the magnitude is great and the study will actually span 2 years. And then again, depending on your answer, we will decide what, if any, elements of the Stockton project could be removed.
Who was that written to?
That was written by me to Bob Tramella, the president, after he received a correspondence just where Jill reached out and said, would you consider doing this as 2 consecutive years as Project of the Year? Because they had voted from their membership to make it the Project of the Year for 2018, I believe, and we're asking them if they would make it for 2019 as well to help pay the bill. Any further discussion?
I'll just add, again, I'll reiterate, I think for the amount that's involved here and the amount of volunteers you get and the amount of exposure you get, this is a no-brainer. If we're gonna get down to the level where we're questioning a few $1,000s here, I voted for our contract with the museum, and I think that's a wonderful relationship we have with them. However, if at some point we get down to this amount of dollars that this is really a problem, I think we need to re-examine where we're putting these dollars, and perhaps going forward, we need to remove from one area to give to another area that I feel might be more productive for our community. So it just, I put it out there that, you know, it's something that you have to consider. Where are our dollars best spent? And if we're gonna, I think we should do both. I think we need to be committed to the museum as we are. I think we need to be committed to our community and our business community going forward. I think this amount is ridiculously low considering what it gives back.
I don't think we should be looking to a private organization to foot our bills. If they decide they want to make a contribution and specify, we should say thank you and go with it. But I don't think we should ever look to a private organization when we have a major task involved that is going to involve a lot of tax dollars. I understand what you're saying. I think we're mixing apples and lemons and oranges and everything else in this whole discussion. And this might be a better time at budget period. But no, it's not a lot of money for the tourism. The question remains, do we get the most bang for our buck? We have to look at that, and I understand it. I understand, and there is no way right now that they can tell us what we're getting back. So,
Can I just mention one thing?
No, let me just finish my
Okay.
thought, because I'll forget it.
Okay.
Let me just say that they need to tighten up their reporting methods, and as Josie suggested, go to the realtors. They've got an ample opportunity to get.
But I think the connection, even though you get information from realtors, there's no way to tell that it came from county tourism. I liken it to this. When you buy a billboard along, let's say, I-95, you kind of know there's going to be a lot of people exposed to it. But you don't know how many people are responding to that billboard and coming to participate in whatever you're advertising. I liken it to that. We're buying a billboard, and along with that billboard, we're getting volunteers that are combing the mid-Atlantic states here. And they're going as far as Cincinnati, and we're talking about $2,500 to $5,000. For me, it's a no-brainer. So you're not going to get those analytics. It's like a billboard. You put it out there where you know people are going to get exposure, and we're getting a ton of exposure. There's probably a reason other communities are doing it, too. They're not all foolish communities just throwing their money away.
No, I think, and I'm not going to go into it in a public meeting. There are reasons why, but I don't think you should keep saying it's a no-brainer. It is a brainer. We have to think about what we're doing with the money. And if we decide as a group that this is a good way, or that the public relations will get for it is worth it for their town, then yes. But we do need to think about these things.
And I'm not suggesting I'm not thinking. I have thought about it, and the amount of exposure, giving the monetary commitment, in my mind, is a no-brainer. I'm not saying I'm not thinking about it and I'm just doing
Well,
it.
that's in-
It means
Just using an expression.
I'm using
So
an
can we
expression to
just-
say it's overwhelmingly obvious
It's
to
just simply
me
an
that this
expression.
money is more than well spent.
And okay, that's your opinion.
I'd just like to say two things. First of all, I think it's a shared partnership with the community, with the Chamber of Commerce. We're splitting that amount of money with them. And again, we don't have everything under our belt that's going to tell us what we're going to reap from it. But we have seen, and whether it's to attribute to that or not, a tremendous increase in tourism here. So I would like to think that that's part of it. The other thing with Chapoa is that I think they have asked us on numerous occasions what they could do for us. So I don't know if it's so much of us sending that letter and saying, would you like to do this? I think they've asked us previously in communications or face-to-face with council people on what can we do to help the community. And I think one of the suggestions was the letter that said, if you'd like to do that, this is what might work.
Okay, I'm going to call for a vote unless anybody's got any last thing to say.
What are we voting on?
We're voting on the motion to participate in the Cape May County Travel Show Cooperative. We
But-
got the motion. Did we get a second?
Second?
Discussion. I just,
And no, okay.
I want to be able to say where we go. We have to. I don't think Cincinnati is going to help us.
No,
Well, no, that, right, the
no, I
nuts and
think-
bolts will be worked out within the tourism department with the chamber. No, then that definitely, yeah. You mean council should?
No, I think Beach and Rec should.
No, I think that's part of it, yeah. We're not saying we're going to go to Cincinnati. I mean, I think Beach and, what is it, rec and
Recreation
tourism.
Recreation and tourism.
We'll decide what shows to participate in on Stone Harbor's behalf. We're not voting on where we're going right now, we're just voting if we're
Right,
going to
we're not voting on where we're
participate
going.
in it.
Right, just to participate.
I think Jill has something she wants to say.
In the past, Miranda has brought that forward to us with recommendations, and I would say that would be the same process that we would want to follow. We would meet with them, we would discuss it with the chamber to come up with the shows that we feel we would get the most out of. I just want to go on the record. I was probably the first one to express my concern with the grant because there was nothing to quantify anything, and I am a numbers person. Hearing from Diane, I do realize that from the county's perspective, it's probably impossible to quantify for Stone Harbor. I do think that perhaps meeting with the chamber and Miranda and talking about it, maybe there's other mechanisms that we can do to try to find that information. Maybe at the end of the day, it's not, and then we just have to kind of go with the faith of we're getting that, we're getting that. But I would at least like to try that aspect of it.
That makes sense.
Anybody else? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes,
May I have a motion approving the bill list?
so moved.
Second.
She
I
has
have
to
to
say
make the
her
motion
spiel.
first.
She's got to say her spiel.
Guys in a hurry?
Yeah, I think somebody's had it with the meeting.
Basketball, 5:30.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the bill list and authorize the CFO to pay the bills when the funds are available and the vouchers are properly endorsed.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, we're about to consider a resolution to go into private session. We would appreciate if you would all remain seated until the resolution has been acted upon. At the conclusion of the private session, we will come back into public session for the purpose of either taking action as a result of our discussion in private session or to simply adjourn. It is also possible that someone might bring up some other item of business in public session after we come back from private session. Resolution 2018 S41.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018 S41 for adoption.
Second.
And for the record, if the solicitor could just say the reason for going into the executive session.
The reason will be to discuss a matter that's subject to the attorney-client privilege.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer? Yes. Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.